Look at that. Look at that. It's working. Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. There you go. We want to make sure those folks that are watching us on YouTube, and if you miss us on a Sunday, you can go there, or if you think, what the heck was she talking about, and you want to go back and review, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.unityofflagstaff.org. Okay, enough. Commercials over. Ghouls, Goblins, and Ghosts, oh my. Ghouls, Goblins, and Ghosts, oh my. I believe that we can master these monsters through forgiveness. Now, you're absolutely right, Bruce. I was going at this from a very light way, in a very light place. So thank you, I think, for that grounding. It's a big message. And I noticed in 10 plus years of overgiven messages, I don't know that I've ever given one on forgiveness. Oops. Oops. That one slipped by me just a little. I heard myself say something in our journaling group yesterday, and I said, I've made a project out of not staying connected to those people. Oops. Any forgiveness work there, Penny? And so what came for me as I was working through this, and I offer this up to you, I really think that it is a scary proposition to ask ourselves to forgive people. But it's an even scarier one to ask me to forgive me. Now, I know that's not new information. I've heard that in every talk given about forgiveness. But it's the first time I've said it in. And since really a majority of the preparation of these messages are all about me, I'm finding out. That's the point of reference that I have. What could I have done better? What should I have done better? What could I do more of? Who could I have been, and how could I have showed up in a different way? How could I have been so thoughtless? How could I have been so unkind? How do I forgive myself for that humanness of mine? So take a deep breath with me, because this can be a really dark and scary and ghoulish conversation. And then again, I suspect we'll find our way right out of it. I suspect that we will be able to look at forgiveness, at least I am offering it up, in a new way. I say we are about new thought, why don't we get one? So let's work on it together. Charles Fillmore, one of our founding fathers of Unity, said this: "It is through forgiveness that true spiritual healing is accomplished. Forgiveness removes the errors of the mind and bodily harmonizes results in consonance with divine law." Charles used a lot of words. But basically what came for me when I read that over and over and over again was this: all that healing work you're doing and all that stuff you're practicing and all that good work and all that good service and all those good thoughts and all those affirmations, they're fabulous, and I commend you on the use of all of it. And it's not going to mean a nickel's worth of nothing if you are working from a place of non-forgiveness. And it has to start right here, folks, within us, because that is where the power lies. I can't go outside of myself and ask myself to forgive somebody that was part of the loss of a sibling. I can't find it in myself to go out and get that. But what I can do is I can stand present to the power of spirit within me, and I can remember that I am a divine child of God, and I can call forth that courage. I can call forth that strength. I can scare all those ghouls and all those ghosts and all of that away when I step into a place of saying, I am forgiven. And I am clear that I deserve to be forgiven.
Yes, you are.
As we all are. Thank you. And I think what happens in this forgiveness thing is that we think we're letting somebody off the hook. And when we can't forgive ourselves, it's almost like we're afraid to let ourselves off the hook. Because what if I behave that way again? What if I show up that way again? What if I perform those same kind of unkindnesses? Why would I forgive myself? 7 times 70, the good old Bible tells us. Now, I'm not very good at math, but I always thought, well, what is that? Is that 490? It seems like that's a nice round number to forgive somebody. Can I forgive myself 490 times every time I accuse myself of something that's less than the divine child of God that I am? Can I do that? Can I chase that ghoul away from me when I hold a new thought about the fact that I'm not giving myself permission to behave badly? And I have given myself permission to behave badly in my life, but we're not going to talk about that today. So,
oh, please.
But I'm not giving myself permission to behave badly. What I'm doing is I'm giving myself a new point of reference. That when I remember what it was to forgive myself of that human foible, I have the power to forgive someone else. And the same energy that I am using to hold on to that resentment and that anger and that hate from time to time, the same energy that is used and the same courage that it takes to keep that stuff in your life, because it takes courage to hang on to that stuff, because it's not doing you any good. You already know that. Intellectually, you know that it's not serving you. But think of the courage and the strength it takes. Whoops, I'm hooked up here. The courage and the strength that it takes to hold on to that stuff that doesn't serve you. On the flip side of that coin is the opportunity to be courageous enough to forgive it. And see where that takes you. Because where's the unforgiveness taking you? How's that working in your life? And you might be like me. I had the mask of denial. Because when I started into this conversation about forgiveness, I said, I don't have anybody to forgive. I don't have one person to forgive. I am perfectly clean with everybody, including myself. And it was a mask of denial. Because it was easier for me to think about you folks needing to work on forgiveness. It was a lot easier. It was a lot more fun up until then. And there are things in people's lives that are not forgivable, it seems. And so we run ourselves through this task list of I need to release it. I need to let it go. I need to forgive. I need to do all these things. What if we embraced the very thing that we cannot forgive? What if we wrapped our arms around it and said, come here, honey. I want to love you out of my life. I don't have to release you. I don't have to cut you loose. I don't have to give you the boot. What I need to do is I need to love you right where you are, little item that needs to be forgiven. I need to love you right there. And then the release and the forgiveness and the opening will come. But if you try to fool yourself and you try to trick yourself into thinking that I'll just release it, I am the queen of release. I can be in an argument and 2 minutes later I have forgotten what it was about. This is in my head. I'm the queen of release. But what I'm learning is that does not automatically mean I have forgiven it. I have to embrace those things that scare me. Those ghouls and those ghosts. I've got to put my arm around them. And I got to invite them into the deepest, purest, most loving part of me. And then I can forgive them. It felt really good to walk through this. Eventually. What if we embraced them? What if we looked at all the things that we think we need to forgive people for? And what if we looked at all the things that we think we need to forgive ourselves for? And we looked at them from a new place. And we wrapped them around in the courage of what it took to hang on to them when they were dark and ugly. We took that same courage. We were that brave to hold them close enough to love them and allow them to be transformed in such a way that that big, dark, ugly thing that we want to forgive becomes something that we can transform into a higher expression of who we are. It's not scary. It's exciting. It's like free candy. All we have to do is take that dark ugliness and flip it around and say, I'm going to love this out of my life. I'm going to love this until it serves me. And then all of those things that I question myself about, all of those shortcomings that I am so quick to point out to myself, become a part of the divine child that I am and aligns with the love that I hold for myself and for spirit and for you. Be brave. Be courageous. Step into forgiveness. You will master the monsters of your life. I thank you for this journey. I thank you.